Hi friends, I'm back with another video in the series of Ikigai. The last video which I made was on logotherapy, that is how with the help of a therapist you're able to find a meaning for your life. Basically, it is a therapy which has been discovered by a person named Viktor Frankl, and he was into a lot of research regarding how to find purpose in someone's life, and he had a lot of material, research material, which he wanted to publish. And then what happened was that he was taken to the Auschwitz camp in Germany, where the Jews were supposed to be killed. And he found himself to be able to strive there, to be able to take all those harsh treatments on himself, because he found that he was constantly reminding himself that he had a reason to live, and he wanted to fulfill that reason, and so he wanted to survive all those hardships. So when he came out of the camp, and even in the camp, he thought about what he wanted to do in life, how he wanted to publish all that research material. So he used to write, what all small paper pen he could get, he used to write small stuff on that paper, so that he would remain in touch with what all work he had done before coming to the concentration camp. And then when he could come out of it alive, he survived all that and he came out alive, and he published that research and gave the world this therapy called logotherapy, which helped a lot of people. So he says that it is very important that you know the purpose of your life, and he says that you can't create that purpose, you have to find it yourself, you have to discover it yourself. And one of the reasons why all our stories are given to us, all of us has our own hardships. We have a story to tell about ourselves, and we feel that we have a lot of pain in our life, a lot of reasons why we cannot do a particular thing, because we are very sad, or we are in the kind of situation which is very difficult to deal with now. But Victor says that it is the opposite. It is basically the reason why you are being born on earth, that you are given a particular story, you are given a particular kind of situation, a particular kind of life, and then you're supposed to learn something out of it and create a life around it and evolve from it, right? It is like how we say that what all happens for the sake of good, because you are supposed to learn something from that. So he says that you cannot create the reason for your living, you have to discover your passion from your own story. And it is very important that you find your purpose of living and not go into existential crisis. Now existential crisis is again that you're living the kind of life which everybody around you is living, but you don't want to live that, you want to do something else, you want to pursue something else, you want to take up another career, but you're doing something else only because of either of the societal pressure, or because of any problems that you have been into, and you're not able to pursue that particular passion. But now as you become aware of it, you can just give it a thought that what is it which you actually want to do, and you need not leave your job for it, you can do it side by side, because people are doing it, especially these days, especially in COVID. People realize that how important it is to be alive, and how blessed we are that we are alive, and they started uh, um, having these webinars, conducting the webinars, teaching people things, and there were people learning from each other, and there was a lot of online business going on, especially during this COVID crisis. Similarly, the writer mentions that you have to discover your own passion. You just cannot create a passion and then live it. Now, the existential, and it will help you. Prevent yourself from going into existential frustration. That is when you feel a void inside you, that you're living, you're doing what you're supposed to do, but still you feel empty inside. Now, because this is such a grave thing, and I guess every fifth, sixth person that we meet in our lives is for sure suffering from this feeling of being blank from inside. They might be having everything, they might be having the job of other people's dreams, and they might be having the pay scale, and they might be having the kind of family we feel like this is the perfect family, but deep inside they feel that emptiness. And this is what is killing them, this is what is putting them into an unexplainable stress, and is causing them to age, or is causing them to get into a lot of health problems which can be prevented. So mentioning all this, what the writer mentions is specific case studies, and he says that Victor says that I feel I was the first patient of my own logotherapy. Victor invented logotherapy, and then he realized that he was the first person who actually, he himself found himself to be the first patient of logotherapy because he had a reason to live when he was in concentration camp. Similarly, he mentions the case of a doctor who lost his wife 2 years ago and was into depression because of the death of his wife. Now, Victor asked him during the very first counseling session, that would the doctor prefer if the wife died instead of him? No, sorry, if he died instead of the wife. Would the doctor prefer this? Because the doctor was not able to take the pain of losing the wife. So, would he prefer that he died and the wife would have lived? And he said, no, not at all, because the wife won't have been able to take care of herself, and she was very much dependent on me and won't have been able to live even financially if I would have died. So then Victor made him realize, see, what you have done for your wife is you have taken her pain away, and in return you have to of course live a life of solitude, but then you have also helped your wife by being alive and letting her die first. And that way the doctor could make peace with himself that it was okay, uh, if destiny was meant to be this way, because in case he had died, then the wife would have a far more miserable life that he is currently having now without the wife. And then there was this other example that he mentions, that a mother wanted to commit suicide, and when in a therapy session, Victor asked asked her to imagine herself to be on the deathbed and see her life in the backflash. She said she has lived a fulfilled life and she would not regret dying because she has made her paralyzed son into someone who could be able to earn something for herself. And then she realized that she's doing something good in her life and she need not commit suicide just because of some XYZ problems. She should not commit suicide. She has done a lot of good work also in her life because of her children. And it was then in that moment that she found the purpose of her life. She found her Ikigai. Therefore, with these examples, the writer mentions work of Viktor Frankl in the book Ikigai, and they say how important it is to find your own purpose. You can ask yourself, why is it that I'm living? What is it that I want to live for? What would I say to myself if I'm on my deathbed and I'm about to die? These are very serious questions, guys. This is not something which you can just take for granted or laugh upon. Sit with yourself and think, what do you want to say to yourself when you're 80 years old, 70 years old, and tell yourself how you have lived your entire life. Have you lived the way of a rat race, or have you created an entire new race for yourself? And trust me, everything new is possible. I'm myself discovering new ways of living at this age of my life, and uh, it should have been quite different as per other people, but I'm finding some things new and I'm working on them, and I have not left the past stuff entirely. I'm working on that also, because this is how the career goes. You just don't leave one career and move on to the next career. You reconnect both the things and then you move about it. Just sit with yourself and think, what is it that you want out from your life? What is it that the logotherapy would get out of you? What is it that you want to live for? And take care of yourself. I'll be back tomorrow with another video, and read this book. It's a wonderful book, guys. You can find another video tomorrow in the series of Ikigai. Take care of yourself. In case you have any questions, please put in the comment section. I'm Dr. Yashika Bidhuri, who works on fertility with natural ways. In case you have any problems regarding your fertility and you're finding it difficult to conceive a baby, then you can DM me, you can contact me. Okay, bye bye, take care.